What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Boozer here. Thanks for stopping by. Hopefully you guys are having a good weekend so far. In today's video, we're going to be doing actually a takeover on a viewer of mine, EzDuzit here. So he's kindly lent us his account and we'll be going over it. There are a couple areas that we want to focus on that he mentioned, so we'll take a look at that. But before we get into that, I want to let you guys know that I will be starting like a monthly takeover thing where I go into somebody's account and I do more like an account review, maybe suggestions, maybe tweak a team or two. It won't be anything too extensive because obviously takeovers take a ton of time, but it's going to be a totally free thing that I'm just going to do once a month or try to do once a month, time permitting. And if you guys want to get involved, it's going to be on my Discord server. I'll provide a link in the description below. So if you guys are interested, you guys can put your name into the hat and we'll go from there. So, but without further ado, let's jump into EzDuzit's account and we'll take a look at what's going on. All right, so EzDuzit, he is a level 84, so very mid-game player. He is a very small spender, about $10 a month for about a year. So his account's about a year old now. Level 84 is shard situation, not looking awesome or anything like that. Fragment situation, he's very close to Mithrala, which is very good to see after 1 year in the game. Very good to see Mithrala. She's a big game changer. And let's hop around the account. Let's have a quick look at what's going on here. Forge materials. He's pretty capped out on Magi Steel, but he doesn't have many crafts. So that could be a farming issue or playtime issue. He's sitting on 10 million silver. That's definitely not much to work with. Brews, very low. Books, non-existent. So definitely some work to be done there. Grey Hall looks okay. Pretty decent activity coming up to the weekend, so not too shabby there. Got some gold upgrades, so pretty good. Let's see what we're looking at for the souls. Not much. Don't really expect much from a mid-game player to have in terms of these souls or progressions in Iron Twins, so not looking for too much there. So let's see what else we got going on here. We've got Faction Wars. He is 756 towards Lydia, so 200 stars away. So he's still a whiles away. He'll get Mithrala way before Lydia. Mithrala probably, I mean, Mithrala is really good, so he's going to be super good there. Let's see what dungeons we're looking at here. Dungeons, Ice Golem, still tackling normal. Normal, yep. Spider's pretty important. He's made it to 7. That's pretty good. 7's pretty good. It's pretty quick too, so that's good to see. Dragon, very important as well, up to 5. All right, so pretty good. I mean, definitely good. Fire Knight's definitely still the hardest for hard difficulty, so don't expect much here. Sand Devil, don't expect much here, but 16, pretty solid. And Shogun, don't expect much here, but 14. Hopefully the new changes definitely help them out. But I think just looking at general progression, obviously the clan boss is going to be very important. Is he hitting Ultra Nightmare clan boss? He is right here, so he is 17 million a key, and this is his team. So 17 million a key, and this is, oh, actually no, that's not him. That might be an alt or something. Let's see here. Oh, he's right here. He's one keying Nightmare. He's one keying Nightmare with this team. There's still the Drakes in here, Turvold. I mean, it's probably just a mashup of champions, so it's not speed tune or anything. He does have the attack down here. And then he has the damage reduction from Geomancer, but the rest of this is just all damage dealers. I think that's pretty good for a Nightmare T, but he probably could get into Ultra Nightmare. We'll have to take a look at the gear situation. 89 fragments on Mithrala, normal, hard, brutal unlocked in his clan. Do we have a key used? No, we don't have any keys used. So I think for him, he suggested take a look at the clan boss team and then take a look at the Hydra teams for any suggestions. So we'll take a look there. Let's take a look at his roster here. What's going on here? We got Sigfrin, very nice. Build, crit capped, crit damage, decent attack with decent speed, decent build, pretty decent build. Doesn't have Savage or Lethal yet, but can't really expect this level of account to have like full sets of Savage and Lethal. but very, very decent build here. It has Slayer gear, probably Forge Pass purchase, but that's totally okay. Good set for some extra stats. Obviously, 3-piece bonus here, some good offensive stats. Full mastery is good to see on the Siegfried, not too bad. Arbiter. Oh, that is a slow Arbiter. Oh my lords. That is a slow Arbiter. Single roll speed. No speed on the gloves. No speed roll on the helm. Double speed on the chest. Double speed on the shield. Speed boots, no ascended speed. And then the banner, no speed rolls. Just the base roll. Yikes. Definitely very slow. War Master on the Arbiter, very interesting choice. Usually you go down to Timely Intervention for any kind of revivers. Very interesting choice. Maybe he has a particular thing that he's using the Arbiter in. I'm not too sure at this point. It is fully booked with Intimidating Presence. Makes sense. Coming up next, another damage dealer. We have the Rathalos. He is in Savage. Again, this build looks very okay. Missing the crit cap here, a little bit unfortunate, but the build looks actually quite okay. Oh, missing a book here and 2 books here. Kind of painful when you're missing the key books on the big skills here, right? Because you want these skills back ASAP. So definitely need some books to finish them off. Reaper there is fine. War Master seems okay-ish, especially since he ignores full defense on his A2. So War Master seems fine. Yeah, the build looks good. Savage gear here is fine. But yeah, like I said, this crit cap, this guy get fixed. And then, of course, his booking situation needs to get fixed. What do we got here? We got Slayer, 6-piece Slayer on the Wukong, 6-piece Slayer, ignore enemy defense when using AoEs. Turn meter boost when using AoEs. Yeah, pretty good. Brimstone on Wukong seems odd choice considering he barely has any accuracy. 194, barely enough for Nightmare Clan boss, for example. Again, not fully crit capped. I don't know if this is a common thing, but not fully crit capped here. Base attack is high, so his attack it looks serviceable at 5.9k. Brimstone, yeah, not gonna be super interested in Brimstone. War Master here, I don't think is correct. I would probably go with Helm Smasher. Yeah, I would not really go with the War Master there. But yeah, otherwise it looks pretty fine. I mean, we do have the Slayer set on, so some extra damage there from Termir. Another Slayer set, Turvold, damage dealer again. He does self-buff himself, so 73% crit rate is fine. 150 accuracy, so you can't place the weaken on most applications. Brimstone again here, probably not the best choices for blessings. For Turvold, I don't know if he's using it for team-based. Maybe you would take Phantom Touch. Maybe you would take Heaven Cast, but probably not Brimstone for Turvold, and probably not with only 150 accuracy. So moving on there, we got Artak. Artak is not super fast. He has crit cap, which is interesting. So usually Artak, you just build him up with lots of survivability, resistance, accuracy, so that he can kind of just solo things. So I'm not too sure where he uses Artak, but it's an interesting build. He is crit capped. Otherwise, his accuracy looks fine. His speed looks fine. He has good HP as well. Mastery is War Master is fine. Brimstone is fine on Artak, it seems. Otherwise, fine build. It depends what he uses it for, right? Otherwise, like most people, I just see this in like regeneration, and Artak can solo stuff. But what do we got here? Your Carl. Crit capped. He has accuracy for debuffs. That's good to see. No books. Does Artak have books? Artak is fully booked. That's good to see. Yeah, so your Carl, his top 6 are probably fully geared, but then afterwards it's probably going to be slim pickings here. Partially mastered. What's up here? Nishak. So it seems like a kind of a trend, right? Like he likes to crit cap his damage dealers, or close to it. It's funny because his key damage dealers are not crit capped, like Rathalos, Wukong, not crit capped here. And then his kind of like Siegfried is crit capped, so that's good to see. But Turvo is not crit capped. Turvo is okay to be not crit capped. So these two not crit capped, and then you have Artak, Yakarl, and Nishak with crit cap. It's interesting. I would definitely give up some of the crit cap on like Nishak for speed. His damage dealers seem under 200 speed. That's okay, but his Arbiter is only 240 speed. I don't know if this makes sense unless he's using it in a certain place. Arbiter should definitely have your fastest gear and be your fastest champion. All right, so we're gonna run the Hell Haze optimizer just to see like a baseline for what his gear can do. We're gonna do a full speed build on his Arbiter and see how fast it can actually be. I'm just running it here in the optimizer, and it looks like his fastest Arbiter can be 314 speed. He's taking gear from a couple champions, but also not I mean, it's not like, you know, I don't know what he's using his Man-Eater for, but it's not in his clan boss team right now. So I'm sure he can spare his Man-Eater speed chest for his Arbiter. So his Arbiter kicking in here at 314 speed. I don't know why she's at 220 and 48 speed, so that's a little bit interesting. But yeah, let's move on. Let's see what other builds he can do here. Just let's take a look at his Siegfried. Let's see if this is actually the most powerful build he can actually do. So we're gonna go back to the optimizer. We're gonna type in Sig. Where's Sig? There he is. Siegfried, and then we're gonna go optimize. We're gonna go full damage build, and we're gonna do, let's say, 180 speed because his current Siegfried is 189 speed. And then we'll just grab it from, let's grab it from his whole account. Okay, let's grab gear from his whole account. Let's see what it can do. See what kind of stats we're looking at here. Pretty good. Optimizer is going pretty quick, probably because his account doesn't have too much gear. 277 crit damage, 5.3k attack. So he's currently sitting at 261 crit damage, 5.47 attack, but this puts him in full savage gear, so it takes away the Rathalos head and weapon. And yeah, this looks like a much stronger build for his Siegfried, considering that it replaces one cruel set with the full savage set. So EzDuzit, if this looks like a viable build for you, this might be something that you might consider using the optimizer, so you can definitely get some better results. Let's take a look at his, for example, let's take a look at his Wukong, and then we can take a build out of here. Let's give him a little bit of accuracy and then give him some speed, and then we'll do the same thing. Let him have the optimizer. Let's see what it can do here. His current stats, 5.2k attack, 245 crit damage with 94% crit rate. You definitely want 100% crit rate with some accuracy. So what are we looking at here? We're looking at about extra 1200? Nope, 600. What are we looking at here? Probably going to be, right now he's currently in a Slayer set. So they're probably going to deck him out in a Savage set here. Yep, so it gives him the Savage gear with an extra 100 attack, extra 5 crit damage, and accuracy to land stuff. So it definitely makes him a lot more stronger. He's going to gain the ignore defense stat from the Savage gear. So it really depends where he wants to allocate the gear. So obviously, Rathalos has the Savage gear. If you use Rathalos as your main damage dealer, sure. But I think general purpose, I think Wukong is probably a better general nuker, and then Siegfried obviously can do a lot of work with really good gear as well. But I'd probably say Wukong probably gets some of your better gear as well than Rathalos, but up to you. Definitely check out the optimizer for some better builds here. You have some room to move on these champions. So let's take a look at what else you got going on. You got Geomancer, very important. Looks fine. He has accuracy to do stuff. Ally attacker, not geared. Rector Draft and Relentless. She's a little bit slow, 174, but not horribly so. But yeah, definitely too slow to be super useful as a support champion. Ugo and Relentless. She is okay. Yep, she's faster than the damage dealers, which is good to see, and then has some accuracy, so that's fine. Kentum looks also fine as well. Accuracy, speed. Man-Eaters. What's Man-Eater doing here? Man-Eater is broken pieces. That's fine. 282. 282. That's kind of interesting. Why he's 282. Is he in a team that I don't know of? Is he in a team that I don't know of? Let me see. He is in a team, Maneater team. Let's check out his teams here. I can't imagine some of these teams being speed tuned or anything like that. Iron Twins. I mean, as long as you have Geomaster, you can definitely do Iron Twins. But I wouldn't say Iron Twins is like a massive area of focus for this account. It has to be Clan Boss. Clan Boss has to be the area of focus. But I mean, you have a Man Eater, you have Geomancer, you can definitely do. Oh, you have Demitha too. You can definitely do something in Clan Boss. And if you're just hitting Nightmare, you can definitely go into Ultra Nightmare. Let's have a look at his Clan Boss options, and we'll talk about those options. All right, again, just hopping into the optimizer, just taking a look at what Clan Boss options he does. This is Ultra Nightmare against Void Affinity. So he does have almost a 1 key available here with this Arbiter team. However, it requires him to have a 329 speed Demitha. I don't think that's going to happen for him, considering his top speed Arbiter is only going to be 314. So this build doesn't make any sense for him, and it's going to be a gear issue for sure. So maybe a 1 key team is out of consideration for him. He doesn't have Wixwell as well, which would be the easy cheat code for Clan Boss, but he doesn't have him. So I don't think we can go for some of these super fast Demitha teams. Demitha 328 right there. And then these ones would probably be very similar. So we'll have to go down to the first probably non-Demitha team, which would probably be like a budget Maneater type build. So yeah, we do have a budget Maneater build right here. We have Maneater, Painkeeper, and then Geomancer. And then we probably have a Slow Boy, and then another damage dealer here. And yep, Geomancer is the Slow Boy, and then Maneater 241, Painkeeper 220. The problem with these budget Maneaters is that they're very finicky. They sometimes, depending on the speed tune, they might not work against some affinities. They might not work against Nightmare unless you do like some gear swaps. But yeah, they're very, very finicky. But you definitely have a 2 key Ultra Nightmare Clan Boss team if you're willing to go through some of those little painful details with the setups and all that stuff. Maybe it's been some time, right? But maybe there is a team with the budget Maneater like skeleton that is more auto friendly nowadays, or doesn't require as much setup or gear changes. But back in the day when I had to do these budget Maneater teams, it was a ton of manual setup and different depending on affinity and difficulty that you were doing. So a bit of a pain in the butt. How about this team? Demitha 310, no thanks. Can't support a 310 Demitha right now with this account. So just going to go down. I mean, he definitely has options. He has the champions. He just doesn't have the gear to make it happen. So what about this team? It's kind of interesting. Mother Cybele with Torture Helm. Probably too niche specific, maybe. Let's see. You obviously want to have a team that is popular enough that you can ask for help or be able to troubleshoot it properly. If you have a team that is very specific, it's very hard to get help with it. So that's why I would always advise to use something that's tested and tried, and obviously proven to work, and then you can obviously ask for help. So as you see, all these budget Maneater teams here, of course, will definitely work. It definitely is proven to work and all that stuff. This one is interesting. Demitha team. Yeah, these ones will have super fast Demithas. This one's a budget Maneater team. So Maneater Painkeeper is going to be like a budget Maneater. So you just look up budget Maneater. This one with Eris, so Myth Air type team with Doomscreech instead of Seeker. Yeah, still a super fast Demitha here. It's just not going to work for this team. But yeah, I mean, you are looking at a 2 key Ultra Nightmare team. It just depends if you want to go through the budget Maneater setups, and a little bit of extra pain there with that. What do we got here? Double Painkeeper. Okay, it's interesting. This one looks interesting. Double Painkeeper with a 249 Demitha. Might be worth taking a look at, actually. Might be worth taking a look at. if you're interested, you probably want to screenshot or stop it here in this video, but definitely something to look at. This one might be interesting. More reasonable speeds for you. But yeah, definitely I would focus on Clan Boss just to get a consistent 2 key up, and then you'll be able to farm some books and shards, of course. But definitely got the roster here for Clan Boss stuff, just whether you want to do it or not. Gear-wise, looks okay. You just can't do the super fast Demitha teams, but you can do a budget man-eater or the team that I just actually highlighted. But I've never really seen that team before with the double pain keeper, so maybe it might be best to stay away if you can't get like more specific help or find a good example of it. All right, so after Clan Boss, he wanted to focus a little bit on Hydra. So I assume he is going to do a normal, hard, and we'll try to get a brutal team going for him. I don't think he has the gear or champions to do 3 good keys. But we can take a look at what we can do for him here. Let's do the team setups, and then we'll have a look here. So what do we got here? Actually, is it easier to build? Probably easier to build like this, right? So, okay, first thing you probably want decreased speed. We want decreased speed champion. Who is decreased speed champion here? Visix. Very good. So Visix should be 60'd and ready to go. She's very good for Hydra. Mother Cybele can work too, but you're going to need some books, and the books is going to be a problem here. So no books. She's not 60. Visix is going to need books too. No books, not 60. Yeah, Visix would be very good for Hydra. She brings AoE decreased speed, ally protection for some extra survivability, and then obviously AoE provokes, very, very good to take care of some of the Hydra business. Besides that, you don't have too many good AoE decreased speeds. So Cybele, Visix, if you pull a Nia, that could be helpful. But these other ones are not, I don't think they're going to be good enough here. Decreased defense. A1 decreased speed. No, this is not decreased speed. It's conditional bonuses. Still is not going to work. Single target decreased speed. Single target decreased speed here. AoE decreased speed, but he's not booked either. Yeah, I would definitely look into Visix, but obviously the books are going to be an issue here. So you need decreased speed. What else do you need? You need block buffs. I saw Ugo, so you're set. You got Ugo and Wukong, so those two are set. So you can definitely make teams with those. So just imagine Ugo and Wukong on 2 separate teams. So now you have 2 separate teams with block buffs, which is really, really important. After that, we should probably look into provoke. Who are your provokers on this team? Husk is very good for general Hydra usage. Very, very solid champion. Visix again was mentioned previously, very good for provoke. Other than that, I mean, what does he do for provoke? What does he do for provoke here? 3 turn cooldown, 100% chance to provoke. Yeah, he could do it. He could do it too for a provoker for Hydra. He can definitely do it. Anybody else? Not really. Not really. I guess Goffred can do it, but you need only A1? Yeah, only A1 provoke. Yeah, not good enough. This one's AoE provoke as well. Taragi with, I believe, 3 turn. I mean, these are pretty like kind of stretch to use provoke. Ideally, you have like a provoke set, or a, do you even have provoke gear? You have hex gear. That's good to see. Hex gear, you can basically give anybody hex ability. That's very good. You do have provoke gear. That's great. So you do have some gear. Okay, so putting provoke gear on a champion with a spammable A1 AoE would be really good. For example, you could put Geomancer in provoke gear, and because his A1 just gives AoEs, that's going to be really good. Let's see, what else do you got? So you got provoke, you got curse gear. That's really great. What about hex, just in general? You don't have Mithrala yet, but Mithrala will be very good. A Kentum actually very solid for hex as well. So if you want to use a Kentum, can be useful with the apply hex here. Alicia is also good for AoE hex. She has very low base stats. So 12k HP is kind of hard to keep alive, but maybe for like normal Hydra she can be useful. This one's already built out. Accuracy is maybe a touch low, but probably still useful. Teal is going to be very good for Hydra as well, but obviously you're lacking some books. She brings HP burn, hex, and leech. Leech is actually pretty important as well, just to keep your team alive. If you have leech, it might be worth using. Ugo, Deacon not so much. That's about it. I mean, you're not going to be using Grush and Hydra. Not going to be using Hatatsu. Yeah, Hatatsu is more of a clan boss champion. Ugo. I mean, you're not going to have leech. Yeah, you're not going to have leech in your Hydra teams. What about decreased defense? Who's doing the decreased defense here? Rathalos, Ugo. Rathalos, Ugo. Silesia. So I guess you have 3 here. That might be okay. You could use Duck as well. Duck does have a provoke. It's a manual provoke, but I guess it kind of works. He can work. He can definitely work as an AoE decreased defense. So you can definitely use him. Let's try to build out some teams here. Nishak can be damage dealer. What else do you have? You don't have... You have cleanse? You have remove debuffs? Nope, no remove debuffs. Duration increase. And no one ready. Ally attack, continuous heals. No continuous heal. Turn meter. Arbiter. Oh, ally protection. Okay, Reviver, just Arbiter. Arbiter, Sill, Rector Draft. Rector Draft can be good. You also need a way to deal with the Head of Torment. So Rector Draft can definitely help you in the Head of Torment here. So let's start to build a team. So I'm going to try to build a team here for Brutal. And then, well, I'm going to try to build the best team possible. So let's see. All right, so just looking over some of the options here, we're actually really limited on what we can do for increased speed and decreased speed. So if you look at EzDuzit's increased speed options, he actually really doesn't even have any of that. He has Sill for single target. He has Apothecary. Mother Cybele's not booked. And a bunch of these are basically like single targets or self buffs for increased speed. So he doesn't have like a team-wide increased speed besides basically Apothecary. So in this case, I'm just going to run Arbiter's increased attack, increased turn meter, and also brings a Reviver. I'm going to bring pair Geomancer with Rathalos. They're a pretty good pair together. Rathalos also brings the A1 decreased defense. Obviously, you prefer an AoE decreased defense. So you could sub out Wukong for Ugo, who brings AoE decreased defense and the block buffs. However, just bringing him for the block buffs here might be okay because we do gain the benefit of the increased attack. So we do get increased attack with the Wukong here. After that, we really need the decreased speed champion, which we actually are lacking as well. There's actually just almost no options for decreased speed. Yeah, like what are we like? We're looking at rares here. Almost no options for. Well, actually, I gotta get rid of one of these. Selected here. Yeah, there's just. Oh, sorry, that's a small one. So here's the big speed down. Big speed down, AoE, we have Mother Cybele again. Everybody else, and we have Neldor. Neldor doesn't really bring too much else. Everybody else is single target. So not too many options here for decreased speed. Visic's going to be massive. You're also going to need a provoke champion, so ideally you gear somebody in provoke gear to help out Visix. Visix does bring provoke, but it's on a 3-turn cooldown, so ideally bring somebody else. But this team, I mean, it should pretty much work on it should be one of the best options that you have based on your account. I don't know if this team will be able to do brutal just because the stats are not going to be there, but I think in terms of the buffs and debuffs, this team would probably be able to help you. So I'm going to try to craft 2 other teams besides this one, and then I'll save it in your presets for you. All right, so here are the 3 teams I built up for you in order of probably how strong they are. So brutal at the top, hard, and normal. Obviously, I don't think this team can do brutal, especially like a 1 key based on the gear that we have, but you can definitely use it to try to top key the hardest difficulty. Maybe hard difficulty should have no issues. This roster in general lacks champions. It generally lacks enough champions to fill out 3 teams properly. It also lacks a lot of buffs and debuffs that you really need, like increased speed and decreased speed, or probably the bare minimum critical buff and debuffs that you're probably looking for, but very, very low in supply for this account. So first team we did go over, we're going to pair Rathlos with Geomancer. You want Geomancer in the highest difficulty team that you are using, because his passive generates more damage the more damage your team takes. So Rathlos with Geomancer. You have decreased speed, provoke with Visix. It's not going to be full uptime because it's 3-turn cooldown, but if you can use her at least maybe as with another champion with a provoke set, for example, Geomancer is a good candidate for a provoke set, A1 AoE. We don't have AoE decreased defense, but we have Rathlos with the A1 irresistible decreased defense. We have Rector Draft here for torment protection, additional healing, and additional revive. Arbiter for the turn meter boost, increased attack, and team revive. We don't have increased speed on this team, but instead we will use Arbiter's turn meter boosting. Wukong here for damage and AoE block buffs. You generally cover most things with this team. It's not like a perfect team by any means, and it probably lacks some survivability maybe, and it definitely lacks increased speed. When Mithrala comes, you probably want to add her definitely to one of these teams. In terms of Hex champion, you need one of these champions to be in Hex as well. I mean, Visix in Hex gear is really good, so then Visix basically becomes like a decreased speed, provoke, and Hex champion. So she basically covers so many things. If you can get her in Curse gear, that would be awesome. But yeah, so that's going to be the best team that I can think of for Team 1. Team 2 here, I have Kentum for Hex, AoE decreased defense block buff from Ugo. Artak here with decreased attack and HP burn for damage. Syl for some heals, some revives. Also brings a decreased speed. We don't have a decreased speed, many decreased speed champions. So Syl here could actually be replaced with Mother Cybele, for example, but unless you want to invest books in Mother Cybele or make her 60, it's best to keep her off super high difficulty. So maybe Syl will be a little bit more useful here. I put Apothecary here for increased speed and healing, and then Nishak here for additional damage with poisons. Nishak can do decent damage if you give her enough time. Give him enough time. So I think this team is probably like a slow and steady team here. Like I said, you can replace Syl with another decrease speed champion. We have increased speed here with the Apothecary. We have a little bit of healing, probably lacking some damage since most damage will come from HP burns and poisons, so a little bit lacking on damage. And then Team 3 here, probably just the lowest difficulty, just like a hodgepodge team here. We have decreased speed here with the Cybele. I left her at 50, assuming that you won't fully gear her out or book her out. She's still serviceable just for A1, so definitely just use her for that. Decreased defense and Hex with Thylesia. Squishy, so I'm going to use her in the lowest difficulty. Siegfried just for some damage. He's already geared. He's 60, so just for some damage. Beast Feeder, he brings increased speed, increased accuracy, and he also brings a heal. You can leave him at 50 for this role, I think, especially on like normal difficulty. But he's actually not a bad champion for this roster. He brings quite a bit of damage, quite a bit of utility. Drexart here for the brimstone damage, plus he's here for HP burn, plus he's here for backup provoke. He's actually not too bad here. He actually does fine. And then we have the hyena for some extra provoking. He also deals some damage too. So this is going to be kind of like the teams I got here. I was kind of reaching a bit with some of these roles, but honestly, with mid-game rosters, you kind of have to be a little bit creative on what you can do. So I mean, if one of these teams can 1-key normal and then 2 teams do top key hard, probably looking okay. You might take a shot at brutal here with the top team. Maybe these 2 teams 1-key the bottom difficulties, and then you can take a shot here with the brutal team. But definitely the stats need to be bumped up a little bit, just to be able to handle brutal a little bit more comfortably. But yeah, so those are my ideas for your Hydra teams. Hopefully that helps you out, at least give you some ideas on what you need to do. And I think the last thing we're going to do on this account is probably take a quick look at his gear inventory. I did see some Slayer sets, Slayer gear and stuff like that. So, he did mention that he does obviously spend some money, invest some money into this account. It's good to spend money on the Forge Pass because obviously you get quite a bit out of it. So you can see here he has quite a bit of gear, which is great because you need gear to play this game, obviously. And he has been making use of it, which is good. And you see some of these are pretty leveled up, so that's good to see. Merciless gear, he does have merciless gear too, so he's been doing Centrano, so that's really good to see as well. And I did see like curse gear and provoke gear, so that's good. He's been farming ice golem for those critical sets so he can participate in Hydra better. So we do see some curse gear here. Most of the gear is actually pretty leveled up, so that's really good to see. His accessories not super leveled up, but he does have some, which is good to see. So he has been doing a decent amount of farming. So let's see if we can do a quick gear cleanup here for him, just to help him out a little bit. I'll show you guys how I kind of do it real quick on accounts that I don't really know. So basically accounts like this, like there's got to be a good reason to keep stuff like this with the flat. Sorry, I'm gonna move my head. There's got to be a good reason to keep pieces like this where you got the flat attack main stat. So hope he doesn't mind, but I'm just going to get rid of it. Mythical, it doesn't matter. This one doesn't matter. This one also does not matter. This one also is not good. For this one, I mean, it's a 6-star Lego, but he's never going to use this. No speed. This one, same thing. No speed. Like, I'm just going to save you the hassle of getting rid of these. This one, same thing. Same thing. This one, double speed. You can make a case for it. It might be the fastest protection piece he has, so I'm going to hold on to it. Like, you could use this on Arbiter, for example, and it'll be fine. This one, I guess you can make a case for an orb down the line. This one as well. This one, he's never going to use this. I'm just going to save you like the pain of doing that. Instinct set, obviously he paid for this gear, so I'm not going to touch any of the paid gear. Zeo, he might need it for a mission later on. Merciless gear, he can order this. So there, we got 9 pieces to get rid of, so I'm going to get rid of these for him. Thank me later. What else does he got? Has he got 5-star gear? He's probably packing a lot of 5-star gear. So I'm going to look at 5-star rare gear, see what he's packing, and start getting rid of stuff. Actually, we'll look at the 4-star gear. Any 4-star gear? HP with triple speed? Fine, fair enough. He's going to hold on to that. So 5-star rare gear, what's he got here? How good or bad is this gear? He's still rocking a bunch of it. He's kept some decent, kept some decent pieces, I guess. Double speed here, speed boots, for example. Good damage gloves. But yeah, definitely a lot of these pieces can go. That's good. I mean, the speed boots, you can make some sets here, right? But a lot of these pieces can go. Like curing, you're not going to use curing set like ever. So yeah, I don't really want to touch this stuff just because I'm going to let him do this. There might be reasons why he's keeping it. He's still progressing through faction wars, so I don't really want to disregard too much of his gear. But obviously 5-star rare gear is probably stuff you're not going to use, very likely. So but yeah, but it's good to see that most of his gear is leveled up, so he has invested a lot into his gear. But anyways, guys, he can definitely still clean up some of his gear a little bit. He's maxed out 1500. His accessories not so much, but it's good to see that it's leveled up. Good to see that he has lots of gear, so he's ready to go. But anyways, guys, that's gonna be it for the video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this quick run through of this mid-game account. I want to thank EzDuzit for letting me pop in, giving him a quick critique, and yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think about this account, what you guys think about the comments that I made on it and all that. And like I said, if you guys are interested in some kind of takeover or account assessment, I do some kind of random, not random, but some kind of selection process once a month. So I'll be trying to keep that up every month in my Discord, and that will be in the description below if you guys are interested. And of course, it's a good place just to hang out and get involved in other things like giveaways and helping the community and stuff. So we're just trying to get the Discord up and running. So this is, I think it's a good way to get some engagement going. But anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for your time, and I'll see you guys in the next one.